So I think that the gliss can be more kind of more dirty in there, and the dee da da dee da da dee da da dee ba da dum. Those figures both at 7 and 9. I think that right now they're sounding a little bit like 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit. The overall shape of where you're leading the audience, I think that is a challenge in this movement, is it can kind of sound too blocky too often. And I think that you need to tell a little bit more of a story of where you're going with this. And I wonder if this pochissimo meno can be just a little bit more sort of playful and probably slightly softer, because there's not a whole lot going on there. And then that offbeat sforzano can really snap, and that kind of propels you back into the movement. But that is that little bit of repose, like, we might do something different. No, okay, we'll just go right back to where we were. Now, when we get going on here, it's such a physically difficult thing to do. But if you can really try to play those lines very, very legato, and that idea of making sort of longer shapes and sort of pulling the lines slowly, da dee da 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 da, that kind of thing. Do you want to just take right from Figure 11, the a tempo? Great. You know what? One suggestion in there is I think you can play with the cross rhythms. Let's see, those I think also, I think maybe slightly even more of the accent. It's the separation, perhaps just a touch more, and then dee da dee da dum dee dee da 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 dee da dum dee da 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 da. That I think play off that with the accompaniment there, and then that will make 14 more effective as those shapes shrink into smaller things. One more time from 11. Great. I'm not sure about making a crescendo there. To me, I think this is a little bit, it's just kind of moving around and kind of bouncing in its own little world. And then when that comes in, the orchestra there, I think that you were kind of letting the cat out of the bag. I think it was like, wait, there's something coming. And I think it's more effective if it's just kind of in its own little world for a little bit, like making people really wonder what's going to happen. Dum, bum, ba-dum. Let's pick it up actually right from on there would be fine. And going on into this, I think that needs to sound more ridiculous, just more swagger. And it was extremely well played, but it gave just a hint of, I'm going to play this really well, instead of just kind of letting it go. So, I'm just going to stop you really briefly. Can the chords seem more of a consequence of the first note? So, da-rum, like that it's coming out of it rather than the two separate events? I think the first big harmonic, that one, I think the slide can start earlier but arrive later. But when you get to that dee-da, 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 I think those accents that are in the second bar can be a little bit more important because they help set up, like it's implying that something more is going to happen than what does. Then, this here is a passage that works a lot more effectively with a full orchestra, but I think that, it can seem maybe a little bit more leggero. It just kind of bounces along in there. I wonder, I think that somehow that needs a little more articulation. What are the notes there? Yeah, maybe it needs a little bit of lift. Can you just play that on your own? Yeah, and I think that the way to get that to speak better is really to be just sloppier with your technique and that kind of thing. Yeah. I think just a little. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that kind of idea that the more the better. It's one of those things that with everything that's going on there, it's going to be very hard to really know what's going on, so I think you have to sort of exaggerate it. And this next bit, I'll have you go on from here, and I think that these can really sting, da, 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 that kind of thing. Great. That the only thing I'd suggest there is if there's a way to bring out the contrast more with the double forte, and I think that part of that is the way you set it up to. I think that was good. You were leading to something, but still for it to be very subito. And I think a difference in character. Something before you're kind of, and then you get onto that. It can have a bit more of that brutality. Bum, bum, bum. And then, I think that it's very interesting how this goes down to a mezzo forte and then back up at a forte. It's like all these elements are starting to happen in very short periods of time. So to really make them all quite different. Actually, this next part, there was really not much to say, but I'll have you play it anyway. Why don't you just sort of go on from where you stopped? I want to steal your fingerings. That's really very good. I think that bowing at 36, I think it's sort of a convenience bowing. I think it still should sound really, I think that's more Dushkin than Stravinsky is my guess, because it's getting to where you need to be. And this, of course, was the same, and that was all very, very good. I mean, really, I've kind of covered all the things that I wanted to cover. It's pretty fantastic. Do you have any more of the piece? We probably have a couple more minutes. Well, actually, we maybe don't have a couple more minutes. Checking my clock. It's fantastic. Thanks for playing it. Thanks for reminding me of this piece. I really gotta look at it again. It sounds just great.